Part two of the Malakuta segment, and we're going to try something. We're going to try and use technology here because Brooke, who is leading the Malakuta Wilderness Collective, wasn't able to join us. But as Carol talked about, COVID has got us using technology a lot more. So, lovely James here is he's all ready to go to welcome Paris. So he'll get her online while I quickly introduce her. And look, there she is. Hi, Paris. Welcome.
Hi.
I'm just gonna quickly introduce you. It's such a relief when it works, isn't it? Okay. So the Malakuta Wilderness Collective was started by 5 passionate locals in Malakuta, and this collective is helping their community to tap into its own capability and capacity to thrive, to make sure what some people see as an isolated community they are not limited by their geography. They showcase, support and sustain the unique wilderness environment, passions and people to enable long-term economic, community and environmental benefits. So I'm really excited to hear a bit more about where the Wilderness Collective is up to at the moment. So can you please welcome Brooke?
Thank you, Eva. Thanks, everyone. And I'm really sorry I can't be there. I'm actually going to be nearby shortly. I'm going to be in New Marilla with ponies in tow with my daughter. But thank you for the invitation to be part of this today. And I'm here in the beautiful Bidawal, Ewan Monaro country of Malakuta, just outside our current Wilderness Collective workspace. I'm just going to share the screen, so our next piece of technology, and we'll see how we go from there. Try and get this as big as I can. Come on screen, go bigger. Are you all able to see that okay? I actually can't hear any feedback, so...
Yes, we can, Brooke.
You.
Yes, okay. We can, Paris.
Awesome. So we've really come out of Madra, and I think it's a really great that you've heard from Carol and Christy first. And I'm hoping today that I can just give you a little bit of a flavour of what we're trying to hope to achieve with the Wilderness Collective, but what we're already doing, and also just a little bit about what's working and from our perspective, what's still a challenge in this space. So we're really about trying to make everyone in this region, giving them the opportunity to be able to live here, have a viable livelihood, study here if they choose, and live their days out in Malakuta and the region and have access to the services and opportunities that they deserve for a life lived fully in Malakuta. We don't want anyone to be limited by their geography, and with digital technologies nowadays, there's really no reason why we should be. I don't want to go through all the bits and pieces of the fires, but the complexity is really real, and I think highlighting what it unveiled is really important. Aside from all the devastation that we know so well, it also in Malakuta unveiled this complex interconnected web of problems that I don't know whether, I think it helped fast track us to understand where we were really at with that. Because of COVID and the abalone co-op, et cetera, being taken out with the fires at the time, we quickly realised that we were so heavily reliant on seasonal tourism that we didn't really have year-round employment opportunities. Most of our community is on casual contracts. There is no job security. At the time and now, we still have this generational change unfolding in our main street businesses. And that's caused a real sacrifice for people's lives, and we don't think it has to. We don't think it has to be that way. We know that there's other communities around the globe that have shown and evidenced themselves being in really tricky situations and then coming back to thrive again. There are certain indicators on how to achieve that. We are working on addressing these problems at a community level. It has to be community-led. There are multiple avenues at play all at once, and that's the complexity of it. You can't solve one problem without starting to move forward on another. And so part of our philosophy is trying to edge forward multiple pieces of the puzzle all at once to try and build this entrepreneurial type culture and economy that can be sustainable and thrive into the longer term. So how are we doing it? Well, the Wilderness Collective is really based on, oh, there you all are, hello, is really based on three key pillars at the moment. Co-working space, so we have a co-working, a study hub as part of the Gellin Study Hub series. We're enticing digital nomads from across Australia and across the world and hiring of business facilities. So, and I'll get to how we sort of came to that. The knowledge pillar, which is all about upskilling, providing confidence, mentoring, supporting people with workshops all around business skills, digital technology skills, and a few other bits and pieces. And Wilderness Enterprise, which is really the bigger end of the game. We're about to start a business incubator. We have social enterprise schools program running with our local college here. We want to act as a community connector, so we're working as much as we can with other communities similar to ours in the region, and the bigger opportunity of actually supporting and buying community-owned assets so that we can really take care of our own futures as much as possible. So how did we come about? Well, after the fires, one of the things that happened is the NBN was about to go into place, and that got knocked out as well. So there were a number of, under MADRA, there was an economic and business pillar, and part of the discussion of that turned around how can local people that generally work out of home have somewhere to go and utilise facilities, get some good internet, etc. So the concept of a digital hub started to come about with great high-speed internet. That was kind of the immediate need. And two of our locals, women, Mary O'Malley and Meg Allen, sort of started looking into how that could be supported, what that could look like, where it could be, just to get people a place to work from. We were supported by the East Gippsland Shire Council in the early days to run a feasibility study that looked at where we might be able to put it, what sort of costs it might look like, all those sorts of things. That was back in about 2020. And then there were three other women around East Gippsland that formed in with Meg and Mary to form what originally was the Wilderness Workspace. At that time, we also started to reach out to ACRE, the Australian Centre for Rural Entrepreneurship, to understand their learnings from other parts of the world and in Australia. And we started to apply for grants together, and we were successful with one of the local economic recovery grants to really look at this capacity building kind of concept and ways of building the knowledge and some small businesses in town. So in July 2022, we formed as the Wilderness Collective. That was sped up a little bit, mainly because we wanted to go into a lease at the time, and we needed a structure to be able to sign off on that lease. So in some ways that was a bit earlier than we would have liked, but that's the way it rolls. So at the end of that year, we opened a temporary co-working space, which is actually where I'm situated at the moment, in behind a couple of businesses in a back office area, which has been a really terrific starting point for us, but it's also been one where we've only been able to access it 3 days a week. So we could only move so far and fast. By last year, we'd been quite successful in obtaining a number of grants, and we really focused a lot last year on skills building. We ran 34 workshops across the year over all sorts of different things, from digital aspects, computer skills for seniors, animation workshops, through to how to run budgets, financial type workshops, leadership skills. We developed an incubator program with ACRE to take 5 local projects through a business process. We ran the Social Enterprise Schools program in the Mallacoota P12 College, where a number of students in years 5 to 6 and also year 11 went through that program. It was a very busy year, but it was really important at the time to build trust in the community, to show what we were trying to do. We held a number of community information events to try and open up the idea of social enterprise, what entrepreneurship can look like, how other communities have bought community-owned assets, and really starting those wheels turning that we can take a lot of opportunity. We have a lot of what we need already in the town, and the skills and the passion. It's just about helping provide a framework and I guess the support to unearth and move some of that forward. And then our focus this year is very much around securing funding for a permanent community hub and focusing on the implementation of that. And I'll take you through that very briefly here. So late last year, one of the businesses in the main town became available, or the shop became available for rent and for sale. And we've managed to lease 56 Morris Avenue. It's right in the heart of the main street. And we are currently turning that into a community hub. And we really want that to be a centre for entrepreneurship, innovation, local enterprises, sustainable practices, a beacon, really, of innovation on what can be possible in a remote town. We're hoping it will be a focal point for businesses and creatives to test ideas. So part of that building is going to be our co-working hub, which is already for businesses and digital nomads to come and work from. But the other part of that building is about having these flexible incubator type spaces where small micro businesses and creatives can come in, test their ideas, have a little shop front in the main street and actually get their feet on the ground, get some mentoring and skills support to try and then be at a level where they can take on their own shop or head out a bit further into the world. We recognise it's a really visible space, and so we do hope that it's a way for our visitor economy to engage and interact more with our community. We get some amazing visitors coming through. Hopefully we can engage them a little bit more to share some of that knowledge and networks with us, and vice versa. And obviously a showcase for all the local innovation products and sustainability. Trisha Hiley, who you will hear from after me, is one of our co-founders. Trisha's amazing in the whole sustainability energy space, and so this building will be kitted out as best as we can possibly able it to be, with solar panels, EV charger batteries. We're doing double glazing. It's going to take a bit of time, but we're really hoping we can use and be as sustainable as possible. And we're raising funds to purchase that property. So we have currently about half the funding that we need, and we're working hard to receive the rest of it. So what's working? Well, I think without a doubt, a local approach and understanding is absolutely essential, and especially after a disaster like the bushfires. Of the people that come through the workspace, everybody really needs an individualised and flexible kind of support. There isn't a one-size-fits-all. And a lot of the programs or business type support packages and so forth that I've seen available don't quite work either online or from this distance, or for the stage and needs of the people that are requiring it. And that's a really big part of being able to adapt where the community is at. So, you know, there are some things that we've tried that we just haven't got the numbers for, or it hasn't quite hit the mark. And the way we're trying to be as flexible and agile as possible, in continually being able to pivot to try these new ideas, so that we can make sure anything that we do is wanted by the community and going to be utilised in the best way possible. One of the biggest things that I think I've seen a shift in is that building a confidence piece. So there's a lot of people that have great ideas and the capability of doing good things, starting businesses, growing the existing businesses. But for a variety of the reasons, the confidence and just knowing where to go for some help is not there. Even just having someone that they can come and talk through their ideas and perhaps the steps, or other people they can talk to, is helping get some of them to that next stage. And there's been some really fantastic success stories already of those that have gone on and are winning scholarships or doing great business programs, have started businesses, are now jumping into bigger events and festivals rather than small markets. So I can see that's working. And I think that obviously that consistency and the building of trust is really important, that we are here to stay. We are not just coming in, doing a grant program and leaving again. And as part of that, we wanted a quick win. And that quick win for us was the Social Enterprise School program. What's been challenging? Well, finding a place to operate from has been incredibly challenging for us because there's really not available small commercial space in Mallacoota. Getting information into the community after the fires, we didn't have our local newsletter for quite some time. That's now every second week. Not everyone is on the phone or social media. Not everyone goes to the post office notice board. It is really hard and continues to be really hard to get information out to everybody. Madra has an amazing email list of most of the community, so that's a good way. But we just have to try multiple avenues to get any form of communications out, the radio station, 3MGB, et cetera, et cetera. The grant models of funding, and I'm sure you all know this one very well, are too restrictive. I don't want to harp on about that, but because you all, I'm sure, know it very well. There's also, I think, way too many small grants that just do little bits and pieces, and there's very little funding for catalytic projects that are really going to make a solid impact on communities such as ours. The funding out of the bushfire, and this is a difficult one, and I don't have the answer, but quite frankly, we've had 4 years of so much amazing opportunities in some way come our way through events and programs and fitness activities and psychological services, everything. But it's all been for free. And over 4 years, that has led to a pattern of, quite frankly, a handout mentality where no one wants to pay for anything anymore. And so it's almost, the funding has almost caused us a new problem. And the problem, part of the problem is that a lot of those services are now finishing up, and a lot of that funding is drying up and going away. And people have come to rely on that, and they're suddenly going to be left with nothing. And also this, oh my goodness, suddenly it's 2024 and things cost a lot more to actually pay for those services. You know, quite frankly, everything's been challenging, but that kind of comes with the territory. And I do get people going, oh yeah, well, you know, good on you, but we've tried this before, and you know, this didn't work, and this, that, and the other. It may not work. This is a giant, big experiment, but if we don't try and tackle some of these interconnected challenges, it's just going to get worse. And we're at that tipping point now where if we don't make some really big changes across this region, it's just going to go downhill. We're going to lose more of our young people, more of our families, more of our businesses, more of our services, and then we are really going to be in a pickle. On the other side of that, if we can make some strong progress towards an ongoing, thriving and sustainable economy and build our social capability and capacity and capital, then if we're unfortunate enough for another disaster to hit, we should be in a very different position and to be able to recover from that one a lot faster. So community leadership is absolutely a must, and it needs to be stable. So people need to become to recognise who amongst the community are doing things, who can help, that they're there, they can be relied on. This access to capital for big projects, for core needs. And I'd like to think that part of that momentum is going to be 56 Morris Avenue for our future. So this is where we're at. We have a big year ahead, a big few years ahead. We really want to try and test this as much as possible to make it a model town for remote rural living. And we really hope that our success can be used by other communities. Every community has its own specific issues. And there's always going to be a need for that local understanding and leadership and knowledge of the community. But the more we can share ideas, knowledge, networks, and even resources, the more as a region we're likely to thrive. So thank you. My contacts are there. I'm happy to talk online, offline with any or all of you. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Paris, if you could stop sharing your screen so we can see your beautiful face again. It was so...
Oh, gosh.
It was so lovely hearing the birds in the background as Paris sits outside the current wilderness space. That was really lovely. Thank you so much, Paris. Lots of really interesting food for thought there. Thank you so much to yours and the small group that's made this amazing, innovative project, happen and continue over the 4 years. It's so lovely to hear about a project that's really focusing on innovation, collaboration, entrepreneurialism. I think for some of our really remote communities, it's really important about having a community that we can be resilient and thrive in. So a big cheers to you and the team for the great work, and we really hope you find the rest of the funding to have that physical building that will help kind of be the shell for all that innovation that's going to happen. Please give Paris a really big round of applause. we have got a little
Thank you.
gift for you, but I can't make it, virtually go through the screen. So you'll be receiving that in the mail.
That's fine. And I hope you all come past 56 Morris Avenue and have a look when you're in town. And I need to do a quick tech check turnaround so Tricia can get on the line here now.
Okay, we'll give you a minute to do that. Thanks so much for joining us, Paris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Wow. What amazing innovation. Just while we're waiting for Tricia to get organised, I'm not seeing lots of sticky notes coming to the front of the table. Are there a few there that Jasmine can grab? Can you stick them up the front so we know there's some there? We've got a couple that have come from a certain person in the room, moi, just to get you warmed up. But if you can come and stick your stickers out the front or just somewhere where we can see you've got some. Thanks, Michelle. I've just grabbed a couple of things that I've heard, and that's what these sticky notes are about. Things that stand out to you in your mind around what's important in terms of resilience and what the questions that we need to explore together. So empathy is key. I just think that was a really beautiful point that Christy made today already. And how do we listen more deeply? Because it's such an important key element of how we work. How we work is so important, not just what we do. And how we work to support the people who need it the most. Individualised and flexible, Paris was just talking about. And I love that sometimes it is just a combination of wisdom and dumb luck. Thanks, Carol. I think it gives us a little bit of, we can relax a bit and say, look, we don't always know what we're doing. We just got to do what we think and feel is right and keep talking and listening to each other. And sometimes dumb luck is what steps up and makes it all work. And that a theme also around that there are some things we need to do differently. And I know that in the reflections that the government people that I've been working with have been really taking on board that feedback. And as a result of that, things were done differently in the floods than they were in the fires. I saw sort of real evidence of that. Keep feeding that information through. So Jazz is going to grab some more of your sticky notes and sit here and type them up so that we can see some more of your reflections in a minute. Part 3 of the Malakuta segment. Do you need to stand up for a sec? Just go on quick. Just go like that. Just quick stretch, or just stretch your arms. Don't punch the person next to you. Reach for the sky, have a little shake. We make you go hard in the morning before you eat. I hope you're realising that this is all very carefully prepared, that before you eat and get a bit sleepy and comfortable, we do a lot of listening. But we are going to have a break for morning tea, have one more speaker, and then we're going to do some work with each other on the tables, which I'm really looking forward to.